Hello everybody, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. So the past couple weeks have been very interesting. Dealing with the energies of death, dealing with all of these different sorts of alchemical and transformative qualities. First of all, if you are new to my channel, what I do here on Occult Perspectives is I talk about different esoteric research subjects. Freemasonry, Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, the Tree of Death, ceremonial magic, all of these sorts of things I talk about and discuss on here. So just wanted to go ahead and let you know that if you're new to the channel. I don't really have a topic planned out for this video, but I figured I would talk a little bit about the subject of loved ones and passing on into the next stage of their awareness, into their soul's development, the soul's journey as it travels. Many of you know that I lost my father about a week and a half ago. It's probably been almost maybe not quite 2 weeks now. We had the services, and the services were really nice. We had a lot of people come out and support us. It went really well. I want to thank those of you who have been thinking about me and have been sending prayers, sending thoughts. It is always much appreciated. Each of you who are, seriously into this sort of material, and you watch my channel, and those of you who support me, I know who you are, and I see you, and I really do appreciate you. It really does mean a lot to have, the understanding and knowing that there are other souls who are on this similar path. So death for me is something that's, in any of us who are walking this path of occultism or esotericism, death is always going to be a little bit easier for you to handle, because it's something that we come to understand a little bit deeper, especially as we do deeper spiritual work, that everything is infinite. As they say, it's that cliche, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just changes its form, which is true. Nature is one of the best teachers. If you look at a body of water, I was actually wanting to do this video a little bit earlier today. There was a little ravine I wanted to go next to and film a video next to that and talk about the element of water, but maybe another day. But when you sit next to the ocean, or you sit next to a body of water, the water flows. And so is the nature of the cosmos. It's ever flowing, it's ever moving, nothing is totally ever stagnant. And all of reality is really just this shifting of energies and shifting of densities, shifting of vibrations, all of these various things that you constantly hear about in the spiritual community. I think a lot of it just gets cliche after a while, which is something hopefully some of you can appreciate about my channel. I attempt to go a little bit deeper into, the ins and outs and some of the nuances of these things, rather than just, spouting generic spiritual information. So yeah, there really is no death. You can experience death in this life. You can experience it in a couple of different ways. You can experience it as something that is almost, it's like a trial, and it tests you and it sees if you're going to make it out. And when you overcome these kinds of trials, and you're strong enough to overcome, and you're reborn from those ashes, you're able to go through the alchemical process of destruction and then regeneration once more. That's what the mysteries are really all about. Taking yourself into the underworld, taking yourself into the darkest recesses of oneself, and really facing all the phantoms and the demons, and working your way through the labyrinth, through the maze, until you reach the light. But you can't reach true light. You can't really even perceive true light unless you understand the darkness as well. Because there is much false light. There is false light which is blinding. It illuminates so much that it can blind you, or it can lead you astray. Some say that, it's the way that the universe works, but by creation itself, there is a limiting factor. The light bursts forth and shines a ray, but it's born out of that primordial darkness. It's born out of the limitless all, the Ein, or the Ayin. I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. The no thing on the Kabbalistic tree. And so, in a way, it's almost like I don't even see that there really is like a physical death in some ways. It's almost like you just wake up one day and you're somewhere different. You're having a different experience. You are somewhere else, but it's still your soul. It's still your being. And there's a whole soul process that takes place through the reincarnation cycle. Most of us will have to come back to Earth to reincarnate, which that's not a bad thing. It just means there's experience here that is needed to be had for our oversoul's overall development. When the soul is in that higher place after death, it sees and knows all. It's in what could be termed as the soul space. It's aware of all things, and it's definitely aware of where it needs to go next. And that's really all we can ask of the spiritual realms and the spirits that help guide souls after their physical, existence this time around. Really, our prayers and our thoughts should be that I hope that the soul, goes where it's meant to go. And it will. The universe is intelligent. It has an intelligence, so it knows. It knows where the soul needs to go next in order to fully learn and grow, so that it can come to, really the soul can come to a point where it's embracing its true will. And this spans not only this isn't just a one lifetime thing. Your true soul path and polarity and all of these things, it spans many lifetimes, many times. It's not just this lifetime. It's so what's the word I'm looking for? Temporary. We are just, this point of experience is so small compared to the whole thing, but yet eternity exists within one moment. And I was talking earlier, just a couple minutes ago, about how there are different versions of death. The one version of death is you transmute, you alchemize, you rise from the ashes, and you become even stronger. You take on energies and things of this nature to transform and become stronger. The other kind of death that you can experience is, it's like a lack of life, in the sense that you are dead. You're living, you might even be healthy per se from a physical standpoint, but you are dead, as in you've given up. You're just tired of this realm, and you just feel like death. You feel that death energy, and this happens when you get out of alignment with who you truly are, your true will. And it happens to all of us. It happens to me as well. There are many times where I ask myself, what am I doing here? It feels like I'm stuck in this state of death, in this state of stasis, But no matter what, the universe will always have a way of shifting things. And especially when a soul is suffering on such a level. You know, my dad had cancer. It was the best thing for him at that time. He needed to move on. He needed to be free from the pain. And that was a lot easier, seeing him go in peace, than it was to see him continue to suffer. You know? So, it was hard, it was emotional, especially the day of. You know, I definitely had to say the things I needed to say in the room alone before it all went down, and said my prayers and said my rite of passage for him. It still doesn't even feel real. It's weird that he's not here, but he is here. Our ancestors are always present, and especially shortly, you know, after the quote-unquote death process here on the physical plane, the spirits are kind of in between worlds for a while. They're still able to kind of interact with us and such. And my son, actually, he picked a little flower. He's not even 2 years old yet, and he picked a little flower and he took it to a picture of my dad that was there, and it was a black and white photo of him, a really good picture of him. And I almost wonder if my son saw my father there. Because of the black and white picture, it could almost be reminiscent of a spirit or a ghost in a way. So I thought that was very interesting, because I don't think he fully knew why. He didn't fully know why we were there at first, but then when he took the flowers to the picture, it was like, oh, he probably does know. He's probably way smarter than us. You know, young ones, they can see through the veil. They can perceive things that we as adults have really suppressed. We've suppressed our powers because we've been told that things aren't real. And the more we get trapped up in the illusory realm, we're like fallen angels almost, to a degree. And we just get trapped further and further into... It's like we're these immortal spirits. We are always these immortal spirits. But we've gotten kind of tricked and trapped in some ways to come into the material realm. It's not all evil, though, like that. Also, we have purposes. We come here for a reason. So it's not always good to look at it as good or bad. We're moving through the energies that we need to at this particular time. Any time we may feel lost or worried or afraid, we have to ask ourselves, why is it that we're here in this present moment? What are the thoughts, words, and actions that have potentially led up to this manifested moment? And, you know, why are we here experiencing this? What is the lesson to be learned? So, there are different accounts. If you study, like, Madame Blavatsky, and she has certain teachings on reincarnation and how long it takes the soul to come back to Earth, or depending on if they're shifting into another dimension, or, you know, you can either go to other planetary spheres and have experiences there, other universes, other galaxies. It's totally open and infinite. These are really hard things to know. These are things that we can only kind of tune into to a certain degree on an intuitional level. It's really hard to know. But the more you work on the self, the more you reflect, the more you meditate, the more you go within, the more you start to get intuitive messages, intuitive images, things that the subconscious, the unconscious mind is trying to tell you that, you know, can often be clouded by our egos and our conscious minds and things of that nature. So there's always a deeper message. The universe is always trying to tell you something, essentially. If something seems out of place, there's a reason for it. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the soul sciences of how all of this stuff works in this video. But I like to think of when we quote-unquote die, it's like a recycling kind of thing. Our souls get recycled, and they're, you know, all of the lessons that we need to learn and have learned in our lifetime, they're kind of reviewed for us at the end, and then the soul gets to decide where it wants to go next. What does it need to experience? What is best for that particular soul? And a lot of the children today, they pick their parents. You know, that's part of the thing. They pick their parents when they incarnate here to the physical realm. especially nowadays, that's happening more and more and more. Rather than the soul just unconsciously being reincarnated, there's more of a conscious decision making in the higher realms. So, yeah, there's nothing to fear. A lot of people fear death. It's something I've become more and more comfortable with, especially, dealing with the physical realm and a lot of the things that come with the world. The world's not evil. The world's never been evil. People are just very confused, and they don't know how to take advantage of a good situation. And being a physical being is a very great gift that we take for granted much of the time. And Curtis Joseph, in one of his recent videos, he said something that really stuck with me, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. He said, I know my place. This was one of his older videos, I think. This was, way back in his spirit. He does a series on different spirits. I think this one was in the Lilith video, I believe. But he was talking about how he knows where his place is, and it comes... in Masonry, we often refer to it as knowing where your station is, knowing your station in life. Because everybody nowadays wants to, it's all about getting there quick. It's all about, I want to initiate through these grades and these, it's like a race to the finish line. And I used to be the same way. So if you're that way, I'm not saying anything against you. I've been there before too. I just wanted to get back to source. It's like I wanted to reunite with source consciousness. And you can do this, but still be a physical being. You can still be here and be an effective human being and enjoy this life and know your place in this life. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry. Learn things at a slow and steady pace rather than trying to run and rush forward and then get yourself obliterated. Because trust me, I have learned from experience, if you try to do that, you will get burnt. You will regret it if you try to rush into something that you're not really ready for. It's pertinent that you get the soul, your body, ready to undertake these energies if you're going to do certain spiritual practices. Enjoy life. Have that peace of mind. Build that solid foundation, and then build upon that. Build upon that and expand and learn and grow, but at your own pace. We're each on our own evolutionary path. We each have our own lessons to learn. So yeah, death is nothing to be afraid of. It's a transformative process, and it can happen at any time. And it is what it is. And we are all infinite awareness anyway. We are connected to that infinite intelligence always. We are it. How else could we have even come into being? We're connected with everything. I am a reflection of you, and you are a reflection of me. So, alright guys, I think that pretty much will do it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will put the link to my Patreon in the description of the video. It will tell you what all is included in the Patreon. I also can do tarot readings and phone calls if you want to talk about any spiritual subjects. I will put that in the description as well. So, alright everyone, peace and blessings. I will be back with another video as soon as I can. I love you all. You've been supportive of me through this journey, and I try to bring some teachings and maybe some different perspectives and understandings that might help you on your journey as well in these videos. With that being said, I hope you all the very best wherever you are. Peace and blessings, and until next time.